Microsoft Deployment Toolkit is a tool designed specifically for enterprise network deployments. Essentially a superset of Windows 7 AIK, MDT 2010 provides a cohesive framework for the Windows 7 AIK tools that enables installers to perform two basic types of deployments: light touch installation and zero touch installation. As the names imply, an LTI deployment requires some interaction at the target workstation site, usually a simple matter of selecting the configuration to install, while a ZTI deployment requires none. The primary difference between the two is that an LTI deployment only requires the tools supplied in MDT 2010 in the Windows 7 AIK, while a ZTI deployment requires Microsoft System Center Configuration Manager to be installed on the network. LTI deployments are also more flexible and easier to configure than ZTI deployments. System Center Configuration Manager 2007 is a complex network management product that provides many features in addition to operating system deployment. The general rule of thumb for MDT 2010 users is that unless you already have SCCM 2007 deployed on your network or were planning to obtain it anyway, you should stick to an LTI deployment. Do not plan on purchasing and installing SCCM 2007 solely for the purpose of performing a ZTI deployment. OEMs always deploy Windows 7 on new bare metal computers, so Windows 7 AIK does not provide specific instruction for any other type of deployment. In a corporate enterprise environment, however, technical specialists are often faced with a variety of existing workstations on which they must deploy Windows 7. Therefore, MDT 2010 defines and supports 4 different deployment scenarios: new computer, an installation of Windows 7 on a new bare metal computer with a clean hard disk and no existing user data, applications, or configuration settings; upgrade computer, an in-place installation of Windows 7 on a computer running Windows Vista, Service Pack 1 or later, preserving all existing user data, applications, and configuration settings. The upgrade scenario requires no special workstation preparation, but it is limited only to systems running Windows Vista using the LTI deployment. In addition, an upgrade can require much more time than a clean installation and can conceivably result in an unstable operating system, depending on the computer's existing software. Replace computer. A migration of user state from an existing workstation to a new computer with a clean Windows 7 installation, also called a side-by-side migration. The deployment task sequence saves the existing user state data to a removable disk or network share with the user state migration tool, and then after installing Windows 7 on a bare metal computer, restores that user state to the new computer. This scenario preserves only the user profile information from the old workstation. It does not migrate applications or files outside the user profile directory structure. Refresh computer, an in-place migration of user state data from an existing workstation to the same computer after a clean installation, also called a wipe and load migration. The deployment task sequence saves the user state data to an alternate location, then erases the hard disk and installs Windows 7 on the same computer, after which it restores the user state data. As in the replace computer scenario, this scenario preserves only user profile information. It does not migrate applications or other files. In addition to deploying Windows 7 on an older workstation, installers can also use the refresh computer scenario to repair problems and implement standardized workstation configurations. MDT is also a free download, which you can obtain from the Microsoft Download Center. MDT is essentially a framework for the tools in Windows 7 AIK. The package includes a graphical application called Deployment Workbench, an extensive documentation defining the procedure for the LTI and ZTI deployment process.